Welcome to today's deep dive. I'm your host, and today we're unpacking the really high-stakes logistics of the art world,
Glad to be here. And yeah, it is a truly fascinating space.
right? Because for anyone following the industry, there's this massive gap between the resources of a major institution like the Met and your average commercial gallery.
Oh, a huge discrepancy.
Exactly. I mean, museums have the luxury of spending years planning an exhibition, right? Mapping out hyper-specific arrival times for every single piece. But
They
galleries,
operate on way tighter timelines by necessity.
yeah. So how are those smaller galleries actually closing that gap, getting that museum-grade protection without carrying the massive overhead?
It really comes down to a fundamental shift, moving from a reactive model to a proactive, decentralized one.
Like not just hiring whoever's available locally.
Right. Historically, galleries often manage transit on a case-by-case basis. They'd coordinate different local handlers, which is, as we know, a massive liability.
Yeah, a reactive approach is exactly how you end up with delayed openings, or worse, damaged pieces.
Exactly. So now, by tapping into specialized logistics networks, and SMA Worldwide is actually a prime example of this. Model galleries are leveraging shared infrastructure.
Right, SMA Worldwide.
Yeah, it allows them to adopt a really rigorous museum mindset, optimizing routing and building strict delivery schedules that sync perfectly with their own exhibition timelines.
Let's look at the physical hardware involved in that shared infrastructure, though. Because the technology needed to move a priceless canvas or a heavy, fragile sculpture, it goes way beyond just tossing it in a padded truck
Oh, absolutely. We are talking about custom-built crates.
with the sensors inside, right?
Yeah, equipped with internal sensors. They monitor microvibrations and humidity fluctuations in real time
Mm.
because that environmental control is critical.
Right, because if there's a sudden temperature shift in transit,
It can cause a canvas to expand or contract.
which is bad.
Very bad. It leads to micro tears that a curator might not even notice until weeks later. But by utilizing an established, specialized partner like SMA Worldwide, a gallery gets instant access to a climate-controlled fleet.
And GPS tracking technology.
Exactly. They don't have to purchase the trucks or the sensors, they just tap into the network on demand.
And that level of physical protection naturally changes the math on liability. You aren't just protecting the art, you're actively mitigating risk before the piece even comes off the wall.
That is the core of it. Moving high-value art requires a complete preventative care model.
Right.
You have to assess the physical risks during the initial collection phase.
Establishing strict operational protocols before a handler ever touches the piece.
Right. And when a gallery adopts that level of foresight, they significantly lower their insurance premiums and overall liability. It's also a massive trust builder with high-end collectors and the artists themselves.
They need to know their work is in safe hands. But maintaining that trust requires airtight communication, right? Because when a piece moves from a private studio to a local handler, through customs, and finally to a venue.
You risk losing critical handling instructions.
Exactly, the awful telephone game.
Which is exactly why having a centralized point of contact is vital. When an entity like SMA Worldwide coordinates that entire chain from start to finish, it completely eliminates that telephone game.
Where a vital detail like how a specific joint on a sculpture needs to be supported just gets lost in translation.
Right. But beyond just preventing communication breakdowns, centralizing the logistics allows for sophisticated data collection.
And major institutions are obsessed with data. They're constantly reviewing transit logs and handling efficiency. Are galleries starting to adopt that kind of analytics-driven approach?
They are, and it is a total game changer. With comprehensive data on delivery performance, dwell times, environmental logs.
They can run postmortems on their exhibitions.
Yes. They can look back and pinpoint exactly how to make the next install smoother and more cost-effective.
That reframes the whole process.
Hmm.
It turns logistics from a necessary evil into an actual asset.
I
It
know.
elevates the entire reputation of the gallery to one of absolute reliability.
Freeing up the curators to focus entirely on the visitor experience. Precisely. The goal of all this complex coordination is to make the logistics completely invisible to you, the end consumer.
Amazing to think about. Next time you look at a minimalist, effortless gallery space, ask yourself how much logistical chaos had to be perfectly managed in the shadows just so you could experience that moment of absolute stillness. See you next time.